Floki. Roll 'em. Well, here I am. Hey, just a cotton-picking minute. This don't look like the Coachella Valley to me. I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
I think one of the reasons Bugs Bunny stood out as a star right away was that he was such a strong character.
Stop steaming up my tail!
And I think people would go into the theater and they'd see this character getting away with things they'd love to be able to do and saying things to people they'd love to be able to say.
Yeah, you wouldn't be so tough if you weren't wearing a uniform.
Oh, I wouldn't, huh? Right on. Let the door.
Yep, I guess you would, all right.
He was just an arrogant, flamboyant character. And audiences love that. They really take to that.
Can you imagine anybody acting like that?
I think Bugs is very clever. He can outsmart any character or anybody. He can get in a lot of trouble and come out smelling like a rose.
He absolutely wins the day, but on his own terms. And he can do it his own way. And I think as an audience, we love to watch that.
How does he do it?
What I find so interesting about Bugs Bunny is that not only wasn't he hatched overnight, but almost every director and writer team and every lead animator at the studio had a crack at this wacky rabbit character. So that by the time Bugs really came to be the character we now know and recognize,
What's up, Doc?
he was a collaborative effort. And maybe that's why he was so good.
Okay, cut the cards.
I think Bugs is different than all of our characters, and that is that he's a comic hero.
You are my hero!
And that in all my films, I tried to have the feeling that he was put upon, that he was minding his own business, and was really not interested in being an aggressive character until somebody comes along and tries to do him hurt.
Of course you realize this means war.
Bugs Bunny, my dad's favorite character. How did it happen? When they showed him a picture of Bugs, he had these big buck teeth. And my dad said, well, he's going to have to talk like this because the teeth are just sticking out of his mouth so much. So Bugs sounded completely different. He had a voice like this. And Dad said, let's put the teeth back in the head.
What do you mean, wabbit?
And his voice became higher, and he took a little Brooklyn and the Bronx together and melded them to sound a little New Yorky.
Mel Blanc gave him a great character. This, what's up, Doc? The way he said it. And, what's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc?
And so we're watching him, seeing a recording session, and then we try to animate it just like that.
Persistent little cusses, ain't they?
They knew they had something with Bugs Bunny because the audience reaction, the feedback from the exhibitors was huge. They wanted more of these rabbit hunt pictures. They wanted this character, and Bugs Bunny became a superstar.
Yes, now, what's cooking, Lolly?
They ended up doing 170 theatrical Bugs Bunny cartoons, something like that, and they put him in fairy tales, they put him in historical situations, they put him in all time periods. But that's the thing, Bugs Bunny was so universal. He could fit into all those places, or he could bring the American spirit into all of those places, the American point of view to old England, or down under, or the North Pole, or outer space.
I think that's what made Bugs what he is. He had a lot of energy and a lot of drive to him.
Okay, all clear.
I don't know that I could ever have too much of Bugs Bunny. I think he seems to bring a perspective of the world that maybe I'd like to emulate.
Bugs is always in charge. Bugs always knows what's going on. Bugs always wins. And so it's kind of hard to think of any other cartoon character that would give a kid that kind of, identification. Do you want to be Daffy Duck and have an anvil fall on your head every 5 minutes? No. But Bugs almost never has an anvil fall on his head because he's too smart. So the trick is to be the smartest cartoon character in the room, and I think that's what Bugs has always been.
Wabbit season! Duck season! Fire!
Bugs is still the most popular cartoon character in the world. He's a hero without being Superman or Mighty Mouse because he does it with his brain. and he's a tough guy with a heart of gold.
I think that collective, collaborative energy that went into that character helped shape him to be the extraordinary character he ended up being, the #1 cartoon character in the world.